Good morning. It is March 17th in 2022, and I just talking about temptation and enduring temptation. And so, and it says here in First Corinthians, Paul's talking about no temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with temptation will also make a way of escape that you may be able to bear it. And that's a hallmark phase or verse that, we hear all the time. And, for me, I just remember I have like 20 years of walking as a Christian. And um, so I have some experience in what different parts of my walk um, in trying to remember those things. Gratefully, I have a memory to be able to good memory to remember kind of some of the struggles. And I just remember running the opposite direction a lot of times, like when of God, and feeling like there was once I received Christ at 21, once I found God and I read through the Word and I understood, there's man's laws, which are right and wrong, which a lot of them come out of this. The morals of this world, a lot of them come or used to before they start changing lately. Uh, we're governed by the Word of God and our rights and wrongs. The Ten Commandments. I mean, obviously, there's no law against covetousness, but uh, most of our social missing the word, but right and wrong is because of what is laid out in this word. And so I knew society's concept of what right and wrong was, but when I read the word of God, I realized there's a next level to it, that there's more to it, that there's, the lust and, hating somebody in your heart and, or hating somebody generally, and that's even wrong. And that there's just this sexual immorality, um, that there's a standard, God's standard of what is right and wrong is far beyond what the world is putting out. And obviously, that is something when you read the word that God starts to convict you on these things. And when I was facing temptation, I remember in the beginning I feel like there was always a choice. There was always a fork in the road to choose this or that. And, obviously, in most of those cases, I was seeking to satisfy my flesh, my desire. I wanted instant gratification, which is a big reason why drugs was a huge problem in my life, is because it was instant gratification. I wanted to change something. I wanted to alter my mood, my feeling. I wanted to have control over what I was feeling and what I was doing. And drugs was a source of instant gratification, of being able to calm myself, to relax myself, to get myself motivated, depending on what I was doing. There was always something. Um, there's always a intention. Like when I drink coffee. I like the taste of coffee, but I drink coffee. I call it my go Jesus juice, because I get up, I drink coffee, and I want to wake up a little bit. And so, there's always an intention behind um, something, and whether or not it's in contradiction to the word and it's sin, that's when temptation comes in. You know, uh, women. Lately I've been, feel like going through this divorce and being separated from my wife, and just, having that break happen, feeling the my marriage, the feeling like I'm free now and ready to move forward, has now caused me to uh, separate myself from being, you know, bound to a marriage, to where now all of a sudden I feel available again. And I'm going through these temptations of wanting to flirt with women, which is not necessarily the worst thing, but it is definitely something that is, because then there's so many women out there that are just they dress provocatively, and I can easily let myself um, look too long, have thoughts that are inappropriate, many things, and there's just that temptation, and that's kind of one of the things I am trying to throttle back. Right, it just came out of nowhere a little bit. It's like I'm like these emotions and this temptation that I haven't dealt with in years because of being married are now like resurfacing, and so it's like going through this uh, self control and just managing temptation well. And so the other thing is obviously success. I've been chasing after success my whole life. Even as I struggled with everything else, I always wanted to overcome my past to be successful, and it was all about the world and the things of this world, and achieving um, stuff, stuff. And so just dealing with that temptation, whether or not it's submitted to God, or if it's all about me having stuff, and it's really a heart thing. Just trying to make sure that when I'm tempted, um, that I am that I resubmit and surrender everything to God. Because the thing is that if I'm chasing after something, or if I'm trying to do something for the intention of glorifying myself, or um, if it's something that is about me, because the thing is about this whole surrendered life is really not jockeying for a position in life, not chasing after glory, not chasing after accolades, success, and credit. And so there's this posturing that takes place with me, um, that I have to make sure to humble myself before God and submit to His plan and what He's doing in my life, in order to and let Him lead it, because He's actually leading the things and opening the doors, instead of me manipulating or pushing my way through, or smooth talking my way into something, which is very easy for me to do, trying to chase after success and position. And um, it's something I've done my whole life, so I gravitate towards that easily, and I got to make sure that I'm not chasing after stuff that's not God's, and stepping back and submitting to what He's leading me into, and I'd rather Him lift me up. So that's a big part of it, is the temptation of seeking my own will, to surrendering my will, and I don't know what tomorrow looks like, right? And letting these doors open and um, come together. Things just start working out and coming together, and um, it's so much better. Like it works out. It's like I'm not getting ahead of God, and God is leading the way, and that's where I want to be. So there's a temptation of that all the time, that I have to continue to submit and surrender. So, I just love, James 1:12, the picture I posted, that he who endureth temptation will receive a crown. And it's not even about the crown. It's just about, um, we're going to have temptation. Everybody has temptation, and it's all about, me or God, right? If I'm living for God, I'm going to be tempted to do things against God, and to be disobedient. Really, that's what temptation is. It's being tempted to be disobedient, or to go against what God is calling us into, and tempted to be pulled away from what God is. Any other temptation. I mean, if you don't even have God, then what does it matter being tempted? I mean, do what you're going to do, because you're already going down that road. But if you're a child of God, the temptation is drawing you away from your calling, your purpose, uh, your Father, and your God. And so for me, everything correlates to submit and surrender to God, and staying in that alignment and being obedient to what is pleasing to Him, because I love Him and He saved me, and um, He's my Lord, and I surrender to Him. And so that's where I'm at. And if you listen, I hope you endure temptation today, because today is the day that we need to focus on, not tomorrow. Just got to get through today. If we can manage to get through today and overcome the temptations, and then tomorrow will have its own problems, and you'll get through that tomorrow when you get there. So God bless.